The thing that gets you invited on the stage is very different from the thing that actually gets somebody to stop the scroll mid-track and pay attention to you. Trust me, I'm speaking from point of humblement, okay? Because sometimes those huge numbers that I earn and I command on stage don't transfer the way that I want them to when I am on YouTube. It's a completely different beast, and speaking to the camera, you need to earn people's trust in a different way. And I'm especially going to share with you one of the game changer things that I learned from a top-notch producer in New York City who was coaching me before I had to get on camera. And here's the things that she told me verbatim that were like, this is how you shine on camera versus the thing that you're used to doing, which is like being on stage, having the audience already warmed up. I was invited to speak as a keynote at the University of Hong Kong. The dean was up there on stage introducing me before I got anywhere close to touching the stage and speaking and introducing what I was there to share. If the dean of the school, basically like the leader of the school, is up there and sharing with the audience, here's who this person is, here's why we're paying her an obscene amount of dollars, right, to stand in front of you and to talk, and here's why we're excited to have her be here and to speak to our community at large and our students specifically, honey, you better believe that translates as, oh, trust, oh, I better pay attention. So different from being here on YouTube. You don't know me from a can of worms or from a can of soup, or however you want to name it. That means I need to be in charge of my own introduction. I had to learn that the hard way. And the thing that's very fascinating, that's completely different about speaking on YouTube is not only do you have to introduce yourself, self-introduce, but you also have to keep in mind that on YouTube, the thing that really gets to trust is likability. So when you're speaking on stage, almost immediately there is some element of trust because that person has chosen to sit in that seat and is listening to you, and you've already been introduced, as I said. But I've found that when I'm on YouTube, it's completely, these people you don't know me, do you know me? If you've been here and sticking around, thank you. I mean, like, I'm so honored. And so that means I need to work on how do I allow this person to see themselves in me, right? In how I'm relating to them before I get to the parts of like, oh, by the way, here's who I am. This is called parasocial relationships. And it's a word, fancy word, that researchers use to describe this thing that happens where we feel like we know this person, right? We on the other side of the camera. We feel like we know our favorite influences and we are in a relationship with them, and that results in a heightened, very deep level of trust. There's research behind this. What does that mean? That means when you are on camera and speaking and getting ready to speak for YouTube, I've learned that the most important thing is to speak to somebody like you're speaking to them like a friend, but at the same time, you're also aware, like when you're trying to be friends with someone, you want to be liked. Like, isn't that the whole thing of, like, would you be friends with somebody you don't like? Like, that's not a thing. So likability is really important in speaking on screen, especially when you're first getting started. And I'm not saying you've got to be like, super chipper all the time. People understand you go through all the different, and we like that. We like to see human beings that show us all the different variations of what it means to be human, not to be like super polished. So what I have learned, what that's translated to for me is very different from when I'm on stage. I'm very aware, like I have to introduce, hi, I am Machochodi. I have to introduce myself to you, but I have to introduce myself actually not by centering myself, actually not by centering my story, but by offering you something that I hope is useful and valuable to you, right? And through that, then I build the parasocial relationship. You start feeling like we're in a relationship, and in this case it becomes real because when you drop things in comments, I'm actually the person who's reading and I'm responding, and based on that, that's how you build trust. Very, very different from what we do when we're on stage. The biggest thing that I've had to learn and disabuse myself of speaking on YouTube versus speaking on camera, I am such a storyteller and I want to tell you all of the tea, and I want to build and I want to give you, like, I want to build a whole world and I want to give you all of the juicy details. And you can do that to an extent. And by the way, you know, there is storytelling that's baked into YouTube. I'm never going to tell you different, but the way that you do that is completely different when you're in front of the camera versus when you're on stage. What I have learned is the thing that I do when I'm on stage, again, let's go back to when I was speaking at the University of Hong Kong. I started off by bringing them into this story when I was 7 years old, and my little sister was starting school and she ran away from school essentially, and it had so much to do with the English language. And this being Hong Kong, there's a really long and very complicated relationship with English, the same way as in South Africa. See, I'm already building a whole long story. You don't do that when you're in front of the camera. When you're speaking on YouTube, honey, get to the point like that, right? And here's the tea that I learned from a top producer in New York City. And what this woman said just stayed in my mind. It is so good. When you're speaking to camera, remember the segments might be nothing longer than 3 minutes if you're on the Today Show or something like that. You need to compress your story into that influx moment. Like, just give me at the tiniest snippet of that influx moment. And remember, you have to speak in sound bites, completely different from being on stage and building a world. For me, that was a game changer because, again, I'm trained as a storyteller and I'm so used to slowing down, bringing people into here's what was happening, here's what I was smelling, here's what all of the different senses felt like. I want to make them feel something. You can do that on YouTube too, but you have to earn it first. And the way that you earn it is initially focus on those sound bites. That's what the hook is all about, right? And also make sure that in the sound, like in about 60 seconds, you're able to say exactly what you are talking about and describe the moment as tersely as possible, and then move on. So before you hit record on your next video, here is what I challenge you to do. Instead of asking yourself, what do I want to say? I want you to ask yourself this instead. Who am I talking to? There's a huge distinction there. You're essentially filling in the blank. This video is for the woman who, fill in the blank. And when you start recording, instead of, today I'm going to talk to you about hostile questions and how to deal with them when they come at you. Think about, that's me telling you, here's what I want to talk about. Versus, you know that feeling when you're up on stage and somebody asks you a question and for the life of you, all of the lights in your head go off, you become anxious, you become a blank wall because it feels like this question is literally coming for your stomach. It's like a gut punch in your stomach. I want to help you in this video to unpack exactly that moment and how to respond. Do you see the difference? When you're in front of an audience on stage, you're literally doing that. You are speaking to an audience of people on stage. But the distinction, when you're on camera and you're speaking to YouTube, you're speaking to just one specific person. Who's the person that you said in the fill in the blank? This is a woman who. You are directing your entire video towards that one specific woman and whatever her pain point is. I want to leave you with this, and it's important for you to understand this. You don't need to become a different kind of speaker to succeed on YouTube. I can see this in real time because the mentor that I'm working with, right, is somebody who is a mom just like me, and the thing that makes her strong in how she comes across is she speaks literally the same way that she speaks on her videos is how she checks in with me when it's just one-on-one and we're off camera. And she is doing so well on YouTube. So the whole thing of like you have to become somebody else, a different kind of speaker, that's not the thing. But you do have to remember you're not speaking to an audience. You're speaking to just one person who needs to decide whether listening to you is worth their time or not. Can you earn and keep their attention? I hope this video has been useful to you. I'm so excited to see you next time here on Madam Speaker Says.